Welcome to this video on Orientalism by Edward Said. I'm Andrew Chapman. I'm a professor of philosophy, and I'll be your guide. Our purpose in this video is to provide you with a detailed yet accessible summary of this significant work, ensuring that you grasp its key concepts, understand its impact, and are prepared to discuss it critically in your classes and beyond. We'll begin with an introduction to the text and its author, followed by a summary of the main ideas. Next, we'll dive into a deeper analysis, examining the significance and implications of these concepts. We'll also cover how the text has influenced its field and discuss any major criticisms. Finally, we'll wrap up with a summary of the key points covered. Now let's get started with Orientalism. Orientalism, published in 1978, is a groundbreaking work by Palestinian-American scholar Edward Said. This text critiques the Western study of Eastern societies, highlighting how scholarship and artistic representations have perpetuated stereotypes and justified imperial domination. Said argues that Orientalism is a discourse, that is, a system of knowledge and power that constructs the East as fundamentally different, inferior, and exotic when compared to the West. Said's work has had a profound impact on postcolonial studies, literary criticism, and cultural theory, challenging readers to reconsider the power dynamics embedded in academic and cultural representations. Said conceptualizes Orientalism as a discourse, drawing on Michel Foucault's theories. This discourse encompasses a body of knowledge, beliefs, and representations that construct the Orient as the West's other. This construction is not based on objective reality, but instead serves the interests of Western power and domination. Orientalism constructs the Orient as timeless, backward, and unchanging, contrasting it with the supposedly dynamic and progressive West. This dichotomy reinforces Western superiority and legitimizes colonial and imperial practices. Said argues that the production of knowledge about the Orient is intertwined with power relations. Western scholars, artists, and policymakers create representations that serve to dominate and control the East, reflecting broader imperialist agendas. The dominance of Orientalist representations in literature, art, and academia creates a cultural hegemony that shapes perceptions and justifies political and economic control. Said highlights how even well-intentioned scholarly works can perpetuate stereotypes and support imperialism. Said critiques the works of numerous Western scholars and writers, such as Bernard Lewis and Rudyard Kipling, for their role in perpetuating Orientalist tropes. He argues that these representations have real-world consequences, influencing policies and attitudes toward the East. Said's analysis reveals how Orientalism functions as a mechanism of power, shaping Western attitudes and policies toward the East. By uncovering and challenging the stereotypes and assumptions embedded in Orientalist discourse, Said exposes the ways in which knowledge production is linked to imperial domination. Orientalism is situated within the broader context of postcolonial theory and critical theory. Said draws on the work of Michel Foucault to analyze how discourse shapes power relations, and also engages with the writings of Frantz Fanon, Aimé Césaire, and other anti-colonial thinkers to critique the legacies of imperialism. Said's work has had a significant impact on various academic fields, including literary studies, history, anthropology, and political science. Orientalism laid the foundation for postcolonial studies, inspiring scholars to examine the power dynamics inherent in cultural representations and to challenge the legacies of colonialism. Said's critique of Orientalism has practical implications for understanding contemporary issues related to representation, cultural identity, and international relations. His work encourages a critical examination of how stereotypes and biases can influence media, policy, and public perception, highlighting the need for more nuanced and equitable representations of different cultures. Said's ideas have been extended by numerous scholars in the field of postcolonial studies. Researchers have applied his analysis to various contexts, exploring how Orientalist discourse operates in media, literature, and global politics. Feminist and postcolonial theorists have also used Said's framework to analyze the intersections of gender, race, and imperialism. Despite its influence, Orientalism has faced criticism from various quarters. Some critics argue that Said's analysis is overly deterministic or overbroad, suggesting that all Western representations of the East are inherently imperialist. Others contend that Said's focus on discourse neglects the material and economic dimensions of colonialism. Additionally, some scholars question the applicability of Said's framework to non-Western contexts and periods, arguing that his analysis is too narrowly focused on the 19th and 20th centuries. In summary, Orientalism by Edward Said is a foundational text that critiques the Western study of Eastern societies and highlights the power dynamics embedded in cultural representations. Said's analysis of Orientalism as a discourse reveals how knowledge production is linked to imperial domination and how stereotypes and assumptions shape Western attitudes toward the East. Despite criticisms regarding its determinism and focus, Orientalism remains a crucial framework for understanding the cultural legacies of imperialism and the power dynamics inherent in representation. Said's insights challenge us to critically engage with the stereotypes and biases that influence our perceptions of different cultures, encouraging a more nuanced and equitable understanding of the world. Through his influential work, Said offers valuable tools for analyzing the intersections of culture, power, and representation in the contemporary world.